today? Welcome to Simply Living 770. Today, we got to dump the Grey Wolf. So basically, the short version of this is I live in this camper, and when you live in it, you have to dump it every now and then. So that's what we're going to do today. But I'm also out of propane, so I got to go get some propane. Basically, whenever I'm going down the road, the propane is what kicks on and keeps the refrigerator cool and everything I have in it cool. So whenever it runs out, I've been told that it can run off of the battery on the truck itself, but I don't like to do that. I think it runs better off the propane. So whenever I'm at the house and I'm plugged into power, it'll run off that perfectly fine. But for any reason, if I lose power, it'll automatically switch over to propane, which is really cool. Because you know, if something happened and we ran out of power, I could still keep groceries and everything else cool, lunch meat and all that cool stuff. So that's something that's really cool. But whenever I go down the road and dump this thing, I really like to have the fridge keep running to keep everything in there cool, so I don't run the risk of ruining anything. So that's what we're going to do now. So I've literally seen hundreds of videos of people dumping their campers. This is just my own spin on it. A lot of people do things different ways, and this is my way. I'm pretty much ready to go. I got all my blocks out. I always put this little one on here just so I have something stable on. And if you look at this ground, it's real soft and soggy. And take your lock out, pull the thing up, make sure everything's out of the way from whenever you back this thing up. You want to make sure that this is higher than your ball. So I mean, if you've done it a couple times, you pretty much know where it needs to be. But if you haven't, it always helps to have an extra person helping you back this thing up. Once I start to see that the trailer itself is pushing down the truck, that's when I lock my lock. And I can put the lock itself back on there. I like this lock a lot. Put it in the hole. You twist it. And it will no longer twist once you take the key out. That's all you do there. Once I do that, I try and go ahead and hook this thing up. Do that top end up. When that latch comes down, it pretty much locks it in so it won't get pulled out. So it's good and in. Whenever I do these chains, I always do the opposite side. You see a lot of people will twist them or do anything like that. I don't really like doing that, but I do cross them because if you see when you cross them, it kind of creates a net. If for any reason this comes off, it'll come off and get caught in this net. Versus if it was right, it would just hit the ground and I would just keep pulling it and tugging it around. So you make this little net and you got a better chance of, you know, I mean, obviously if this comes off the ball, it's going to be a bad day, but this helps. Now a lot of people have a bigger hitch that you actually put levelers on. My trailer does have those, but I'm going such a short distance that I don't think it's necessary. I pulled this trailer many times without them. It drives very well, and I'm literally just going like one exit down. So now I let it down. See this little tool right here comes in real handy. This actually came with the camper, but you can go get something real similar from Home Depot or Walmart or anywhere else. As you can see, these are kind of like the main brakes. I always roll these up on here. These are kind of the safety net. But this is a really good brake. I could use just one or the other, but I like to use both because this is the main support. But this will actually keep the trailer from rocking back and forth a little bit while you're in the camper. It makes the camper a little bit more stable. Put it on there. Twist it off. Obviously, you don't want to do this until it's hooked to the truck, because right now my trucks are going to be my brakes once I take these out. She's ready to go, but I always take one more walk around just for safety's sake. You know, there's been times where I've thought I've had everything up and forgot a stabilizer, or forgot the, which I've already done, but I took out the power cable. Which, come here, I'll show you the power cable. My power cable runs from here all the way down. And mine's a little bit different. Mine literally just plugs in right here. Plug it in and twist it, and it plugs in. A lot of them you have to like push in manually. Since I'm not actually going to camp anywhere, I just literally unplug it and I'll just leave this here. Make sure it's getting snapped in. But I take my walk around, make sure everything's out of my chocks, my stabilizer's up, my slides all the way in. Make sure this is locked. Come through little stuff like make sure all that stuff's snapped in real good. That's in. Stabilizer's upstairs up, just shut real good. Awning's in. There's nothing in my tires. This is in. This door's locked. Everything coming open. I got everything out of the way. I'm not going to run over the block. I got my stabilizer or my jack all the way up. I should be ready to go. We're over here at the Flying J. We're gonna dump this thing. So this hose comes out straight out of my bumper. That's where it's stored. So basically what I'll do, I'll take this in. You pop this off. Pop that on. Make sure it's getting locked in. Make sure that's in. Take this 90-degree. Pop it on. Make sure it's getting on. You always want to do your black tank first. You're going to get all the nasty stuff down through there, and then you can open up your gray tank, which has all your soapy water, what you've showered with and washed your hands and washed dishes and that kind of stuff with. So it actually naturally cleanses out your hose. So we'll do the black tank first. Once you know you're good with your black tank and you don't hear anything else coming from here, basically what I do is I go ahead and open the gray tank with my black tank still open. What it does is it pulls clean water out of here and it actually kind of flush this whole system so you don't have residue from your black tank. I let it go for like maybe 30 seconds, and then I close the black tank so everything else goes straight out my hose and it cleans it out. So we're going to do that right now. Here, go down through, close off the black tank. If you don't close it off at some point, it does kind of go up in there, and then you don't end up not having enough water to actually clean out your hose. So basically I just open up long enough to kind of splash some clean water up in there, kind of rinse it out, and then I close it off. And then you let that run. You obviously want to wash your hands after this. You can wear gloves. A lot of people wear gloves. I just make sure I wash my hands real good after this, because obviously you're dealing with bad stuff. And once you're done doing that, you pretty much just clip this off, twist it. You're gonna clip it off, and most of these places will have some kind of hose and some kind of water system. And even though I've cleaned it out, I still stick this hose sure I clean my hose out real good. Let it run for like a second. Out of there. Make sure the water's out of it. Now, it's illegal to go down the road without shutting this back off. So even though you have both your valves shut off, you want to make sure you put this cap on. It's illegal to not have it on. And from there. Now a lot of people separate this piece that connects to here from this hose. I keep it on there. I do separate this piece because this piece won't go in the bumper. Now, a trick that I've learned is always stand the other direction. You will stand behind it. So whenever you flip this thing up, it's going to flip water up on you. And if you like to not get wet, that's a good thing. So that's in there, you pop this on. Make sure it's good and on there. You're good to go. I've been coming here for a couple years now. It's normally like $10 every time you dump. But I got a membership, so it's $3. $3 a dump, it's cheap. I normally go in there, get a you dump it for $3, buy 2 drinks, and I'm still under 10 bucks. I feel like I should buy a drink just because I feel like I'm getting it for a steal. You know, and it's basically free drinks. So I normally buy a couple Red Bulls or a Powerade or whatever. But this place is like literally like one exit down on the highway from my house. So it's a really good cheap option for me. You know, I can do this like once a month, and it's so simple. You hook it up, you go, you dump it, you come back, and you're good. It's so much cheaper. And I do this because what do you pay for a house payment? Let's just say $600-700 on a good day. And if you're not married, you don't have any kids or anything like that, I bought this camper after tax for like 23 grand, brand new in 2015. So I pay like $71 a week, and it comes straight out of my my credit union account. Anyway, we're gonna get on the highway. I'll give y'all a little shot of me backing it in, and I'll see y'all in just a minute. All right, we're back home. Y'all get to see me back this thing in. This ought to be fun. There's this tractor trailer that likes to park in front of the house. Likes to make things a little bit more difficult, but I think I got this. So basically what you want to do is you take this chalk that he's about to put in here. I'll do it. So basically I take this chalk and I just stick it in there real snug, and I do the same thing to the other side. Obviously, and for me, I want to make sure that this is able to connect to, because if it doesn't, then I have to do the whole thing over again. As you can see, he put that right up in there. And basically what I'll do is I'll just put it in neutral, and I'll just coast right up on there, and it'll be nice and snug and it won't go anywhere. Obviously, before you unhook from the camper, you want to make sure you do your brakes. That ought to be the first thing you do. Obviously, I've already pulled full on these. You stick this in here, it's not going to go anywhere. Once you get all that stuff in there, then you can start unhooking, which I've already started doing. Basically, you want to make sure that this is unhooked, all your chains. I've got all this popped off and ready to go. So I'm basically ready to drop this thing, pull this thing off the trailer. And then once you do that, what you can't forget to do is pull this off. Once you get this thing up off the ball, what you don't want to forget to do is pull this off. This right here is your emergency brake. If for any reason this came off the hinge, that will pull the emergency brake out, and your trailer brakes will lock up so it doesn't just coast down the road. Thank you all for watching Simply Living 770. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.